I could see the gentleman was looking down at his phone, probably checking his email. And it was one of those situations where it's like the triangular. The cashier's finishing up. He's next in line. I sort of come on the scene late, but I'm at a 45. Are you with me so far? I'm not in line behind him, but I acknowledge he's next in line by saying to him, as he's looking down, looking at his phone, unaware that the cashier is waiting for him, I say to him, hey, you gonna go next? Or just to get his attention. He peels his eyes up from the phone slowly, not demonically, but slowly, as if he were ready for a confrontation. And I cannot remember the exact verbiage from his mouth, but he said to me something to the effect of, what are you, in a hurry? Something to that effect. To which I just, I crouched. I practiced turning the other cheek on a real small scale. I practiced cohabitation with my fellow human beings in a setting which was necessary to contain more than one human being. And so I found myself amongst my brothers and sisters because I'm in a Starbucks, and I don't know that I could afford to have a Starbucks built in my kitchen. I don't know that I could. I'd love to get one of those signs though. 10th commandment, just broke it. Oh, I covet those things. Tried to get them, tried to buy them from like managers, like the old, the big green illuminated sign they used to have inside the thingy bobber. Starbucks, with the, whatever, the dead god, whatever she is, some mermaid or something, I don't know. I crouched. I grew silent. My countenance probably fell. I took a subordinate position to him. Two, 3 minutes later, we find ourselves next to the fixings aisle, or island, where they used to have the packets of, the raw sugar, the regular sugar. They used to have pitchers of creamer, I guess with COVID now. I don't know. I haven't really been in too many Starbucks in a while. I do enjoy their coffee, whatever. I know, I'm an oaf, whatever. Because I like Starbucks, whatever. But all your fixings were there, and because I'm going light and sweet. So a little, because they got good cream and they got that raw sugar. Sorry, I'm pounding on the table. Molassesy sugar, which, I love. The man comes up alongside of me and starts to prepare his drink. I was able to bump him because he ordered something, beyond a tall coffee of the day. Okay, that's how I got ahead of him. Ultimately, to the Fixins Island, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the workings of the Starbucks. And as I'm preparing my coffee, he comes up alongside me, starts to prepare his, and he attempts to open dialogue. He attempts to show contrition for his behavior. I was impressed. And what did I do? Of course, I answered back politely. These things happen. No worries. And I meant it. See, as they say in AA, it's not the herd of elephants that are going to get you. It's the herd of fleas. will wait. So the meeting has ended, the AA meeting has ended, and I'm talking to a fellow member. I know him. Beyond seeing him in meetings, I know him a little bit, very, very mildly, as a friendly acquaintance. Again, beyond sharing a chair next to me in an AA meeting. And we're in a church, duh. Remember what I said about churches. If you're clergy and you have a church and a drunk comes to you, I'm going to belabor this. And if somebody wants to share this that's in the clergy, please feel free to do so. I don't normally ask you to share anything like that or whatever, but I'm making a special exception here. I try to maintain myself as a program of attraction, not promotion, okay? That's one of the tenets of AA. That's why you don't see me. You only hear my voice. I try to keep myself small. But if you, and there's the but, if you are a member or you know somebody that has a facility or something like that, and a drunk ever comes to you and says, can we use your building for one night a week for, yes, instantly should come out of your mouth. Sorry, side tear. You will be rewarded. God seems to take a special affinity. A special affinity? Overzealous? A special affinity to drunks. That's all I can tell you. So we're standing there talking, and there's only one bathroom, small church, one male, one female. And the person who was ahead of us in line, finishes, and he comes out, and I'm mid-sentence telling this other member that I've spoken of, that I know just a little bit better than a co-member, about my contribution to the shared story that we're amidst. Snorkeling, something, diving, learning to snorkel, something like that, as I want to say. I'm mid-sentence, he stops me and he says, look, either you go in there or I'm going to go in. Now you could say maybe his bladder was screaming at him. But it wasn't screaming enough for him to initiate, or at least engage in, polite pleasantry small talk before it was his turn to go next. He wasn't standing there like a little boy with his legs together and his hand over his pee-pee. He seemed to be of a relaxed, calm demeanor. He never had the opportunity to come alongside me quite the way the man in the Starbucks did. But he knew, and I knew. Within a matter of 5 or 10 seconds, what had just transpired. And it was bitter for both of us. And if I have to explain any of that to you, I'm sorry. I must be speaking to a very young person then. And that's okay. You will learn. More than one person has asked me about Svetlana, the Russian that I was engaged to. How is it going? In light of current affairs, how is it going? Are you communicating? Do you text with her? Blah, 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 blah. Well, 2 or 3 people easily in my circles. I'm getting very particular with my innermost circles, I want you to know. I guess old age will do that to you. And when I tell them that we've pretty much discussed it, we know it's over, realistically, for the foreseeable future. I may never go to Russia again. She may never come here. But then I follow up with, but I still found a way to get her money. Through the florist. I bought that girl some very expensive flowers. But I got a guy, the florist on the inside working with me, who likes Adobe for his artwork, this Russian. And I'm like, well, since he's in Russia, he can't really use Adobe. And I was like, well, let's see if we can find a little common ground here. Boom, I win. I'm happy. And people look at me and they go, you're still sending her money? And that is one of those moments that I've spoken of before, where I have said I must reticently admit that I am one of you. But sometimes I wonder, because I should like to believe that certainly a couple of them that have asked me this question, well, I know they know a lot about Svetlana and me, an awful lot. And yet they ask that question. And I just, for me, now, maybe I'm a poet, maybe I'm strange, maybe I'm amazed. Somebody cute with Paul McCartney. Did you like that? I need to smoke more pot. I know. Maybe I'm amazed. Maybe I am amazed. Maybe I met a woman that Jesus Christ surely had in mind. Forgive me, Heavenly Father. When his son spoke of the meek inheriting the earth. I have met a woman who ain't hard to look at, who's had 2 men leave her for younger women, yet she bore both of them sons. And again, I remind you, listeners, some people have asked me that question, and you still send her money? They know all of this. And they still ask me that question. Fuck you. Fuck you. The day I was born was the sorriest day of my existence.